Hello and welcome to the EV80quette podcast. And let's just talk about what happened this week. Starting with news. The Hyundai Kona is going to get an N-Line variant, which I really like the Hyundai Kona. If you can't get a Bolt, get a Kona. And I'm sure an N-Line will be pretty neat. But really what we need, Hyundai, is a stripped, bare bones. I need like a Kona WT. Does that make sense? GM people, we need a Kona WT. Can we get that in the Hyundai Kona for like $19,000?
Make a whole bunch of them.
I do think an N-Line would be cool though. I've got a huge deep dive coming up on the Honda Prologue, and when I say deep dive, I mean everything that I've learned so far in one video. But the big news about the Prologue, well, it's actually twofold. Let's start with the sales. 3,458 Prologues in July, 3% of Honda's sales. Yes, even Honda can sell EVs. If you build it, they will plug in. On another note for the Prologue, which is not quite as exciting, about 39 of them have been recalled, and it's a very short list of just April Prologues, but make sure you check your Prologue, open the door placard, and look at the manufacturing month, and then if you're in April, make sure you're not a victim of this recall. Finally, in Prologue news, a little bonus story. I had a viewer who was unhappy with their recent purchase of a CR-V hybrid reach out to me. He's local because it looks like we go to the same local dealership. And he asked me about the Prologue after watching my first impressions video. I told him to check out I-79 Honda, and you can too if you want to see what the Honda Prologue Elite is all about. They've got one on the lot. It's $52,500 after the tax credit and $60,000 for the sticker price. I'll give you plenty more information about it and my Prologue in my upcoming deep dive video. On the EVOG podcast last week with Brian, we talked about Tesla sales being down. Well, BYD sales are down about the same amount. But BYD is now looking to come into Canada. So, approve of Chinese EVs or not, the US will most certainly be the very last market with affordable EVs. How stupid is it that a Fiat 500e and an all-wheel drive Blazer EV are the same price? That's the reality we're living in. Biggest news on the Fisker front is Ocean owners get a paragraph in the cash collateral order. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just hit subscribe on this channel. The algorithm will catch you up. But essentially, Ocean owners now have a pathway forward to access to continued non-monetary functions so their Oceans can survive. And a Chapter 7 trustee will be taking that on, and it's guaranteed in writing. So actually a really big move from the Fisker Owners Association. I made a whole video about it. You can check it out right here. Finally, the Fisker Owners Association has decided that we need to work together to put a video out. We're still working on the details, but I am going to try to get them in a video. But the real call to action here is that you submit your questions to me for the Fisker Owners Association so I can represent you, the owner, or just the curious party. What can they provide? How are they going to provide it? You let me know what you want to learn, and I'll make sure I ask them when I get the opportunity. Speaking of Oceans, I have an owner who messaged me recently and wanted to get out. This particular owner wants out and asked what to replace it with. And they really wanted a Cadillac Lyriq, but they were pretty specific about getting as low a payment as possible. And that, my friends, is a Blazer EV. I found 3 of them in the $30,000 range, one in California at $30,000, all-wheel drive, brand new. I don't know how you beat that. That's better than a Model 3, even price-wise. So, all-wheel drive, Blazer EV, $30,000. These won't last forever, but we are towards the end of the model year, and my new market report highlight would be that. And one other thing, the Model 3 is definitely a good deal right now. Until the end of August, 1.99% promo financing on a Model 3. This was active with the Model Y last month, but now they've moved it to the refreshed Model 3. That's an extremely low payment, like $600 a month. In fact, it's such a good deal, I thought I would just take advantage. That's right, my wife is upgrading to the new Model 3. A long range in red is only going to end up being about $40 a month more than our current Standard Range Plus LFP Model 3. So tons more range, more power, all-wheel drive for $40 a month. All thanks to the 1.99% financing that was recently applied to the Model Y and has now been applied to the Model 3. Oh, and buying the car, other than actually physically picking it up, took about 4.5 minutes. My credit application was approved in 1 minute. In fact, 17 seconds to be exact. So, why do people buy Teslas again? Yeah, that's probably part of it. Subscribe to the channel, obviously, if you're interested in the new Model 3 refresh, because we'll have plenty of information and road trips and stuff on it. My wife drives all the time. Let me know what you think about the Model 3 down below. And now it's time for one of my favorite parts of anything I produce, the comments section. Regarding the Ocean, I still want one. Hands down, one of the best looking EVs on the market, in my opinion. I sure hate this happened. An attractive girlfriend that just happens to enjoy poisoning your food. A show dog that bites. A bed of oysters that you're allergic to. This is the Ocean. In regards to me buying an Ocean, you could have rented one for a review. I guess if I didn't want the opportunity to go through the buying process and the setup process and the service experience and the long-term experience, I could have rented one. You're right. The Fisker Owners Association is nice, but will they get anything done? Question: what is more important in the eyes of the law? Maximizing the value of Fisker's estate for the benefit of CVI, or ensuring current owners are able to keep their vehicles running for as long as possible? You know the answer. I predict Ocean owners will get tired of the large cost to keep their vehicle on the road. The fleet owner will offer to buy these vehicles for, say, $10,000 for the purpose of parts supply. Solid points, in my opinion. Update: I had a friend down in Texas buy an Extreme model with only 772 miles on it for $15,500. Good job? Question mark. I guess you get to experience what it'll be like with no warranty, no service, no backup, and no help, except a group of determined people with not a lot of money and extremely limited resources. This is not a comment. It is a salamander crawling. Connie thought we should name it Sammy the Salamander. There's your absolutely nothing to do with this podcast moment of the day. Just open source the software and share parts info. Boom. Solved. I think Josh from American Lease can explain this one the best.
I've seen people talking about open sourcing the car. You can't do it. This is all safety items that were certified by by NHTSA. There's regulation around everything, so extremely regulated, right?
This is in regards to my criticism of Rivian for not building chargers in my state. Your negativity toward Rivian makes no sense. I imagine there are few Rivian owners in West Virginia, yet they are supposed to place a Rivian Adventure Network somewhere in the state for your convenience, even though you don't support the company with a purchase. Why do you not criticize Honda that makes 0 chargers and very few EVs? My response was, maybe no one should ever have a charger in West Virginia. We obviously don't deserve them. Want to see me criticize Honda? Watch my next video. My next video will be the Honda deep dive. And in regards to charging, no one seems to want to build a charger in West Virginia, and that's the whole point. And it's not for me. I have a charger at home. I can drive from where I am to anywhere without any issues, because when I leave my state to go to another one, there are plenty of places to charge, but people who come through here and are stopping here do need the fast charging. So people that come from these areas that are extremely well built out as far as EV infrastructure are going to pull into a place where there's no charging. And as far as Rivian, they are literally supposed to build chargers in places where no one else has. And is there not a better example in the eastern United States than West Virginia? We are the highest average elevation east of the Mississippi, and there are how many state parks here? If you live in the Northeast, we are most likely the closest and easiest way to take an outdoor adventure. But Rivian knows this. Look how close the Rivian Adventure Network sites are to the border of West Virginia. They know the party is here. I'm guessing the problem is this statement that they've made where all Rivian Adventure Network sites are powered by renewable energy. They would have to install their own renewable energy in order for this to be true in West Virginia. And in the event that they did, there wouldn't be any state tax incentives. So to save a few dollars, every single charging company has excluded us always. And in case you didn't already know this was true, the reason why West Virginia has no DC fast charging is the fact that no matter which side of the aisle they're on in West Virginia, they get oil and gas money and are against clean energy because they're probably also associated with coal. Next, let's check the used market, and I'm just going to break it down. What's the hottest deal? I personally like this Genesis GV60 all-wheel drive for $42,800 with 10,000 miles, and this 2023 EQE500 4MATIC for $54,998 with 2,200 miles. What's the best thing to buy under $20,000? That's this 2021 Volkswagen ID4 Pro with 22,000 miles on it for $17,493 after the tax credit. Is there anything to buy under $10,000? That's this 2018 second generation Nissan Leaf SV, 60,000 miles for $9,100. And what's the price on a Model Y and a Model 3 under 50,000 miles? 2021 Model Y standard range rear-wheel drive, 45,000 miles, $21,000. 2022 Tesla Model 3, 47,675 on the odometer, $17,995. The A6 e-tron was unveiled. It has yawn for stats, and if you want to know how much it costs, then you probably can't afford it. And that's how Audi's looking at it, because they won't tell you the price. The dry cathode Cybertruck is here. Exactly one. They built one. Maybe they'll put them in a $25,000 EV. But that's not the big Cybertruck news. The big Cybertruck news is the durability test. And if Whistle and Diesel isn't on your subscribe list, I'm not surprised. I don't subscribe either, but Whistle and Diesel does a heck of a job durability testing things, especially EVs. Completely and totally worth a watch if you're interested at all in how that truck performs, especially compared to a gas truck. You have to take the bias and kind of move it to the side because Whistle and Diesel hates EVs, but there was a lot of fairness to that test. I've been reaching out to local officials ever since I made my consequences video, which you can also check out here. And this time it was regarding an EV charger that I'm trying to give to my city. We have exactly one EV charger now, at least my city does, and it's been broken for 2 years. The local official got back to me. He said he's going to help me use his contacts with local city officials and see if we can't both get the old one online and add my new one. And I'll keep you updated as that process continues. Let's do 3 EV debunks. Not true. You start every day with way more juice than you would have in a gas car. But you do 80% of your charging at home, and if you have off-street parking or a garage, then you're all set, and you can just use a 110 plug. You don't need to get a 240-volt outlet or call an electrician. That's a myth. I use a 120-volt plug for all of my charging on my Prologue. What are you going to do? I've owned 5 EVs over the last 4 years, and the lowest I've ever been is 5%. I got the you have to plug it in warning. Connie was even a little freaked out. But we did it. We made it home. That was one time. I've never gone below 5% ever for any reason. And I live in the biggest charging desert east of the Mississippi. And those are your 3 EV debunks. Leave your reason or someone else's for not switching to EV down in the comments below. I'll be happy to debunk them on a future episode. Here's an update on the Fisker Owners Association. All of this information will have to be considered as rumors. And remember,
when I say rumor, I'm protecting a source. It's not like I made it up.
Chapter 7 is going to happen on the 19th of August. Software 2.1 will continue to happen after that date. If you don't have Software 2.0 or better, put in a ticket with the FOA, or you will be bricked. I hate to be that blunt, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. If they try to push an update to you and you don't have 2.0, that could be it for your car. At least until somebody can service it, and that list is long. Water pumps have been purchased. Delivery is upcoming. There was a training in La Palma, and certain shops were represented. There will be another training. The first set of shops that will get water pumps will be shops that were in training. There is someone working on 3.0 to 5.1 as far as updates. There is no timeline, and that party is not the Fisker Owners Association, nor is it Fisker, nor is it American Lease. Europe needs service partners. Glass, body shops, service shops. Reach out to them if you know anybody that would fall into this category. Key fobs, there's a Shopify now. I don't know if it's launched yet. You'll be able to buy the key fob and a programmer. There's a thing in a contract for automotive finance called the holder rule, which means some claims and defenses that you have as a person in the event that the entity providing you with a car should go out of business could transfer to your lender. Potential claims would be Ocean One benefits, software updates, warranty, loss of value. There is work being done within the Owners Association Association to provide assistance with the holder rule. Speaking of warranty, just real quickly, there's no warranty anymore after Chapter 7. What if my Fisker 12-volt battery dies? The Toyota Prius seems to have the closest alternative. It is a labor-intensive operation. As far as the vents, the supplies exist, but there's no confirmation that they are not identical copies of the parts that broke. The company that makes the vents no longer exists, and there's no information about any timeliness of these replacements. So many problems with the vents, no timeliness on the resolution. The priority of the problems, if you want to put a ticket in with the FOA, bricked cars are priority, next is broken air conditioners, and next would be other things that prevent you from running and driving your vehicle or storing it appropriately, like all the windows are stuck down. Other than the recall repairs, everything that you do comes out of your pocket. If you drive your car 1,000 miles to a service center to get something done, regardless of whether it was in the original warranty, you will pay for that. T-Mobile has an active negotiation with the Owners Association. And remember, all these are rumors. TomTom is interested in getting the $600,000 that Fisker owes them before providing any access after the bankruptcy has completed. TomTom could end service August 19th, but we don't know. There was rumor of an alternate solution, and I would love to have details on that. There is an existing parts list for who needs what. If you need a part, you should probably reach out to FOA and let them know. The amount of the dues is completely and totally uncertain and will not be communicated until probably all of the software issues have been solved, either by a third party or the Owners Association itself. But FOA dues will be monthly and nobody knows the amount. A quarterly spending report has been identified as something the Owners Association wants to be able to do. And there was a mention of all work done by Owners Association affiliates and volunteers is indeed voluntary, and they will not be monetarily compensated. Just rumors.
Let's do some fun facts. You can't recycle a gallon of gasoline after you burn it, but there are already multiple methods for recycling lithium-ion batteries. Speaking of batteries, the battery in your phone is made with cobalt as well as the oil you would put in your vehicle, but lithium iron phosphate batteries do not contain cobalt. Finally, the ID Buzz has been delayed in North America because there is not enough demand for battery electric vans, and there are no battery electric vans. So Volkswagen, there's no demand for electric vans.
Right.
And that's been your fun facts.
That's it for this week's coverage of electric vehicle news, if you will. Obviously, I cover Fisker fairly heavily on this channel, but I want to make sure you know that I'm interested in everything that's going on in the EV market. And make sure to leave your own fun facts and reasons why people don't want to convert to EV, as well as your thoughts on Fisker or the Honda Prologue or the fact that we're getting a new Model 3, all down in the comments below. I will definitely feature some of them in an upcoming video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to videos. Check out my website, EV80quette.com. I got some great updates coming up for that next week. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.